And I think we're live. Hang on, it's trying to reconnect. Yes, we're live. Yes, yay!
We're live.
We're live. We're live. We are live. And this is, what is it, Tuesday, October the 10th. Episode 35 of the Vegan Hour, and we're live. And tonight I have Dean from a vegan restaurant in Burleigh, whose name I'm not pronouncing at the moment because apparently it hasn't been pronounced the way that we thought it should have been. So I've been calling it Serabar.
And actually,
wait for it. We're not. Hang on. We're going to wait till more people come on, and we're going to tell you the correct way to pronounce it.
Big pause now.
Big pause now. So we're going to find out the correct way to pronounce Serabar tonight. Dean's going to be talking about running a vegan restaurant, Serabar. He's going to talk about his experiences with the Froth Fest that was just on Sunday. And yeah, a whole heap of things. We want you guys to throw in a whole heap of questions tonight. I'm going to tell you the reason why we want to throw these questions in a minute. Let me just get this happening here so I can see how we look. Okay, we look almost human up there. Wow, that's impressive. And okay, Serena comes first off the bat with hello, Harry and Dean. Hello, Serena. So we can see the comments coming up there.
Right.
Now, let's just rattle off what's happening this weekend. Okay, this Saturday, I tell you what, it's all about vegan restaurants because it's this Saturday in Coolangatta from 5 p.m. the second greenhouse opens. Yes.
Greenhouse. Got to go. It's amazing.
See, this is what's great, isn't it? That you know, your inferior competitor, but you love it as well.
Oh, we love it. We go there. It's like a treat. That's like a treat. We go there and we get on with the owners really well. The fantastic deals there.
Yeah, they are great.
And yeah, we love it. It's really fine. It's fine cuisine food, and we love it. It's, you know, in fact, I don't want to like put things out there, but I go everywhere when I go traveling for work.
Yeah.
And I'd go as far as saying that greenhouse is one of the best I've ever been to. We've like shout it out. It's amazing, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Definitely. We're not, funnily enough, the show's not about greenhouse tonight, but here we are praising
Big up to the greenhouse.
Greenhouse is actually my favourite 100% vegan restaurant as well. Sakara says hello. Matt says, g'day, Mr. Harry and Dean. I love how you call me Mr. Harry, Matt. And Danny says hello. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching tonight. But yeah, this Saturday from 5 p.m, Greenhouse in Coolangatta, the second greenhouse opens. And it is in Griffith Street, Coolangatta, very close to Hog's Breath Cafe. So you want to be there. And if I'm free, I'll be there. Now, Sunday, also, Love Child Vegan Markets at Mermaid Beach at Love Child Place. Have you been along to them yet? You haven't been along to them?
I haven't, no.
No.
That's bad, isn't it? I intend
it's just up the
to.
road.
I've been too busy working, but
I know.
I think you know it's time to free up now down the Serabar. And the Serabar, it's starting to free up some time, so I'm going to start attending. Definitely, it's great, you know.
Okay.
So we'll talk about the vegan markets because they're just amazing, you know. In general.
Yeah. Well, so this Sunday from 10 a.m. Love Child Vegan Markets at Love Child Place. If you're having trouble finding it, because some people say they have trouble finding it, it's on the Gold Coast Highway at Mermaid Beach between Bondi and Sportsman Avenue. So really just park in Bondi Avenue or park in Sportsman, just walk up to the highway and just walk along and you will see the market there. So it's only a small market, but it pumps. Really good food. You've got vegan fashion there in the Love Child Place, and there's usually other vegan things like cookbooks or maybe I don't know. I can't think of anything, but anyway, I've got nothing.
Serabar stall eventually.
Yes. Okay. So talking about which, a couple of things. There's a giveaway tonight. I haven't done a giveaway for a long time, and we're going to do a giveaway to the best question tonight about your restaurant, which interestingly is not called Serabar.
Nope.
It's not called Serabar.
It's not. It's actually pronounced, weirdly enough, is Serabar.
Serabar.
My wife came up with that name. We have got 4 girls, Scarlett, Ella, Roxy and Amber.
Amber, yeah.
And we wanted something really cool and funky. And we didn't know how successful it would be, if it would work or it wouldn't work. And my wife like, let's call it Serabar. What will be like the song.
Yes.
So
Sera.
Sera. So we call it Serabar. However, everybody calls it Serabar. and it's kind of stuck. I call it Serabar now, and which is weird.
Which is weird because you named it.
Yeah, and I named it, but I just kind of go with the status quo now, and I'm just like, yeah, it's Serabar. But my wife goes crazy at me when I call it that anyway. So if somebody comes in and calls it Serabar, I'll give you a free cookie. How about that? Vegan cookie. How about that?
That's cool.
That's cool. How about that?
You
the
might
first
be,
person.
Okay, the first person. I was going to say, you might be giving away a lot of food. Okay, the first person that goes in and correctly pronounces the name of Serabar gets a free vegan cookie. But that's not the giveaway. There's a giveaway tonight. $30 voucher for a meal at Serabar for the best question. So we're going to have a look at your questions tonight. Dean's going to make a note of questions. Best questions that he likes. And so the best question at the end you will win a $30 voucher just for asking a really good question. Sakara says, I'll be there first thing tomorrow. What time do you open in the
6 o'clock in the
6 a.m. Right?
Got to early bird catches the cookie in this case. Right.
Looks like Sakara's going to be there. She'll be there for the early bird cookie. Yeah. And Mitchell says he loves it. So, and Sonia says, hi, Harry Hipster and Dean Divine Diner.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Sonia. I'm going to take that as a compliment all the way.
That was excellent. Okay, so tonight it's all about the food. I like to have a different theme each week. Tonight it's all about the food. And so let's find out a little bit about yourself, Dean.
Yeah.
A little bit about you. I want to start with like your vegan awakening. If we can talk about that,
definitely,
and then sort of move on to Serabar.
Yeah.
And also, I want to also find out a bit about your experience because with the Froth Fest on Sunday, because that was the first time. That you did
a market. Yes.
A market. Yeah. So let's get back to who is Dean and how did you become vegan?
Yeah, good question. Fantastic. Well, my daughter's been vegan for over 2 years now.
Excellent.
And at the first, I'll be honest, I've got to have as much integrity as possible. It was difficult in the family because no one else was vegan. So we was cooking just separate food just for Amber.
Okay, so why did Amber go vegan? What was
Amber went vegan. She, one of her friends was vegan who she worked with at the time in Cronulla in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And she started watching documentaries and she started feeling much better being vegan. So then she started to educate myself and my wife on veganism at the time. So then my wife did a slow transition to vegan. So she's been a vegan over a year now. And then we live as a family, because we have 3 of our daughters, and we lived near enough a 70% vegan life. Apart from I was working away and going out and having meals, and I wasn't being strict to it. So and then when we'd not had dairy I've not had dairy for over a year and a half. So dairy was the thing that I cut away instantly. And then when we opened the shop here, we obviously had the shop and all the food what I was taking to work was just vegan. So I was eating vegan all the time, and I actually went out for a meal, and it was the last time I ever had meat.
Yeah.
I went out for a meal, I was ill for 2 days, and I actually went to the doctor's, believe it or not, and he said something to do with me because I was not eating meat.
Yeah.
And your body releases acid. So obviously because I wasn't eating meat, it wasn't releasing it minimized the acid.
Yes.
So when I had meat, I was still releasing that low volume of acid, and I was ill for like 2 days. So I then said to my wife, "This is me. I'm fully vegan," and it all made sense because my family suffered historically with heart disease. My mother died very young, and I kind of made that conscious decision where I was in for a penny, in for a pound. I was like, "This is me." And I've been in since the end of April. I've been vegan, so and I feel much better. I
was going to ask you, Mike. That was my next question, but before we get to that, Sonia's put in a question so that she's putting in a question to try and get the voucher. You see, she said, "My question is, Dean and wife, what was the moment you went? This is the turning point from vegetarian to vegan for the restaurant."
Yeah.
Good question. Well, I was going to get to that later, but should we get to that now?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Good question, Sonia.
It was always going to be the vision was always we're going to go vegan. It was always always going to go vegan.
So before you even opened it?
Before we even opened it, we was going to go vegan right at the start, and then we kind of we had a few friends. We had one particular friend who owns a couple of restaurants in Sydney, and he's talked us out of the idea, saying, no, you mainly for coffee. He said for your coffee, he said like your milk.
That's a big seller, right?
Big seller, yeah. So and admittedly, we have lost some coffee sales, you know, obviously.
Okay.
But then we got through it, and we had vegans coming in, and we had some vegans that wouldn't because it wasn't
100%. Yes.
And then we thought, why? Our initial trail to go vegan was pure health initially. Obviously, the animal ethics come a second tier, even though now we're like, wow, why didn't we see this before? But health, and then because we was promoting health, we was like, we've got to go vegan. And then we even made that decision where we thought, well, it may even close. We didn't know. It was rolling the dice where are we going to lose that money? Because we had the gym next door.
Yes.
They was coming having coffees. They was having eggs. And we was and it was doing really well. So we was like, we had to go with our heart, and we trusted it, and we still do. We trust in what we do. We trust in our food, and it's all about me promoting veganism, promoting health, promoting animal rights. And you know what? And I strongly say this and mean it. And I've said this many times before. If my business didn't work and it wasn't successful, I'd rather do it than sell meat and sell eggs and be very successful. You know, I've got a conscience, and I'd do that. I'd sincerely mean that as well. I'd rather fail at doing something what I really love than be successful at something what I don't believe in.
You'd rather live by your values.
Yeah, and that's all. That's all you've got as a person, isn't it? As a human being, you've got your values, you've got integrity. And if you haven't got that, you're not a real person.
If you haven't got your integrity, what have you got?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really sort of sleep well at night, can you?
Yeah. So I'm going to apologise for it as well, because my accent's very thick. So I'm from the north of England, and if people can't interpret it, you need to possibly go and watch Coronation Street or something.
There you go. Nicole says, "Oh my goodness, how does Dean have 4 adult/teen kids, vegan youth?" Well, your oldest kid is 19.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're ranging down from 19. Sonia says, "How?" Oh, well, I've answered your question before you even asked it, Sonia. How old are your girls? I want to bow down to your decision to give them the best ever start in life with conscious eating. Good karma is your kid's birthright. Very lucky to have you as parents. I tell you what, Sonia, I'm loving your comments here. She's definitely.
You're like Sonia. You are front runner at the moment. You've got that $30 voucher.
You're definitely front runner at the moment. And Lindsay says you're from the same neck of the woods as Lindsay is. So,
wow. Yeah, definitely. So I'm
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. No, don't let them talk you out of it, Lindsay. Proud North, we're proud North of England, eh? It's like Game of Thrones, you know, the North, you know. It's like Winterfell.
It's where one of my favourite comedians comes from.
Where's that? Who's that?
I
You've lost him now, haven't you?
I can't.
You can't be that good.
I can't think. Come on, who's a really famous?
Peter Kay.
No, keep going. He's been on. Let's see. We're going to go right through the show trying to think of a famous Northern comedian who.
Should be no. There's loads of comedians.
He's really good too. He's been on. He's a constant. On a comedy show that's on every year. It's been up to its 7th, 8th series. It's a panel show. He's a constant on there.
You might be Lee.
Yeah, Lee Mack.
Lee Mack.
Yeah,
Lee Mack.
Yeah. Who knows Lee Mack? I mean, Lee Mack, brilliant. Have you seen him in person?
I haven't met him in person. No, I haven't. But he's funny.
He's brilliant.
So dry.
And his stage performances are brilliant. Yeah. Okay, so we got a little bit off tangent there. So following on from Serabar, going from vegetarian to vegan, so you were concerned about you might be losing coffee sales, you might be losing the gym people coming in and all that.
Yes, definitely.
Now, how long ago was it when you went fully vegan?
We've been vegan for, God, what was the day?
It was
the 1st of June, was it? The 1st of June. I think it was the 1st of June.
1st of June? I thought it was a little bit later than that.
It could be 1st of July, please, if anyone knows. I should know this, being the owner, but it was June or July, I'm positive it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, that's terrible.
Because we did a lunch there, a vegan life lunch. I think I did at the beginning of August, maybe a vegan life lunch there after you'd gone 100% vegan to celebrate it. So it was round about that time. So let's say it's been a few months at least.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Okay, now, so my question is, and I'm going to get to Nicole's question there in a minute, is So what has been the experience then? You have your concerns. What has actually happened?
Well, ironically enough, we've really got the diehards, which we always expected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had the diehards come from far and wide, because every vegan restaurant generally is more of a destination. You know, it just becomes that that point where, oh, we'll go to the greenhouse, we'll go to Serabar, and it's become that now. So weekends are very full. So now we have a lot of the vegans from the coast who visit and have meals, which is fantastic. The biggest goal for me now is the conversion for the non-vegans. I want regulars coming in, and not just from a financial aspect, because that would be great, but more for just, I want people to try, you know, like try a soy flat white, try an almond flat white. The people are put off with those words, rather than saying, just try different coffees.
Now, I'll just get you to hang on a second. Right, so let's, we had a few questions, a few really good questions that came up. And for those that were watching in the first part, will know that we're doing a $30 voucher giveaway to Serabar. So we want these good questions to keep coming through. So let's try and answer some of the questions by going back to, I don't think I can even read the questions. I can't find the questions from the first section. So guys, there was a question from Nicole that I remember. Nicole asked, she'll probably type it again, but she asked, what was your inspiration or motivation to open the restaurant in the first place? I think was...
that was Sonia's question, I believe.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
That was Sonia's question.
One of them was a question about opening it, and one was a question about why go from vegetarian to vegan.
Yeah, that was one of them. That was a really good question as well.
Yeah.
And I believe somebody...
good question from Danny there. I like that.
Dean,
we might take... we'll just start with the questions. Okay, so yeah, Nicole's put her question up, but we'll go with Danny, because she's just beaten you to the punch on that one, Nicole. So Danny says, Dean, what is the best response you've had from a non-vegan after eating at your restaurant?
The best response.
I guess, or reaction.
Reaction for non-vegan. We've actually, I can actually probably name one, because there's a friend. I have a couple of colleagues who I work with, and they come down from Coomera to when we had when we used to open the nights, and none of them are vegan, by the way. And they come and had a meal, and we did a form of tapas where we give them different kind of meals.
Right. Yeah.
And they loved it. In fact, in our office in Brisbane, they wouldn't stop talking about it for weeks. Which is obviously
for weeks.
For weeks. It was like,
wow.
They were saying Dean's restaurant's really, really good.
Wow, that's great.
And we got a really, really great response. And more importantly, which is great for me, it was great for the staff that worked there. And it was more great because I taken more from it because they enjoyed vegan food. So if they enjoy it, why can't they do it? Why can't they eat it all the time? Why can't they have it?
Did you ask them that?
The first question I had, I said, so it's nice. I said, so vegan's not that stereotype where we just have to eat raw carrots every day. Yeah. We can mix things up, you know. So that was probably the best takeaway. And one of the questions as well, if I can remember, is how did you choose your staff? I haven't got it here.
Yes. Sakara's put the question back up there.
I should put it on the
what traits do you like them to have? I ask because I've noticed all of your workers are lovely and friendly and always chat to me when I come in. Yeah.
Great. Look, funny enough, most of the staff who work there are my family. we have my cousin who works in the kitchen, and I have my daughter, obviously, and my second eldest daughter works on the weekend. Outside of that, we've got a young lady called Tamara and Lisa who work there, and they are amazing. Like we're so lucky to have the good staff. They're both vegan, so they want to make that decision to work in a vegan place, and they're just so good. They get it. They get what food we make. They know what kind of customers come in, and they're just passionate about the job. They're not just waiting. They're not clock watching. They enjoy it, and because we're so passionate. I had a friend, and I don't know if you know anybody in hospitality, but sometimes it can be a bit cutthroat. Like my daughter worked in a place, and they give a 20% discount on food, which I thought was diabolical, to be honest. I'm like, if you work for me,
Yeah.
you're gonna eat for free, you know, and
Yeah.
because it's vegan, but I want to put vegan food in you. I want it.
Yes.
You never become that father figure with the staff as well.
Yeah.
So we look after our staff. We know if we've got salads, they're on the borderline where maybe we'll say, right, take them home.
Yeah.
They have meals, and I've got to actually give a big shout out to my staff because they're actually angels. You know, they really are angels.
They are.
I think a lot of them, my wife does as well, and we're so lucky to have the staff.
There's a few questions that have come through there, which I want to get to because Nicole said her original question was, what made you take the risk to open the restaurant in the first place? Yeah,
the risk to open the restaurant, good question. I've got to give my wife the credit for that because it was something where we've been in Australia for just over 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And we lived in Sydney, and it was really hard in Sydney. My wife looked after a young child, and it was quite stressful, if I was going to be honest. And my wife really was passionate about opening a vegan coffee shop, and I wanted to leave it a couple of years, to be honest. I was like, let's get out the woods, let's have a little bit of breathing space and some nice holidays first. And she was adamant that she wanted to open. And she was forceful in that matter, and I just had to support her. And I said, right, you know, let's do it. If we're going to do it, let's do it properly. And we've done it, and luckily we love it. You know, I'm looking forward to the growth. And I was actually talking about the greenhouse. I'll not make it about them. I was speaking to Charlie from the greenhouse, and she was telling me the steps of succession, you'd probably say.
Yeah.
And she said you just notice things, the change in the menus, you tidy little things up. And I've noticed we've just released a new menu, which I'd like to talk about probably a bit later.
Please, later,
we've released a new menu. We've got staff, Lisa and Tamara. Their add-ons, that what they brought to the party now is just phenomenal. I can see like the pancakes, the food what goes out now, it's just like at a different level than it was 3 months ago. So if you haven't been for 3 months and you've travelled from Brisbane, come along because the food's gone up in levels.
Damn, I'm feeling hungry now. And I mean, I love your food. And I haven't been for probably a month.
I got told when you go vegan, you lose weight. I've actually put weight on because I eat everything what comes there. It's so nice. I mean,
I'm hearing it.
Yeah, it's hard.
I want to get to Nicole's question and then get back to talking. Nicole asks, I would love to hear the worst response to dropping milk in coffee.
Yes, the worst response, what we tried to do, it didn't work out very well, is that when we turned from vegetarian to vegan, when anyone had come into the shop, we didn't tell them that we was vegan, and we just made them a default soy flat white or soy latte.
Yes.
And some people didn't say anything, and you probably never see him again. And we had one particular guy who was really rude to my daughter. And we had a Shane from the Vegan
Frothers.
He sent me a post on Facebook where someone had changed from vegetarian to vegan.
Yes.
And he told you why. Because we're not willing to take part in animal cruelty. And we had that actually on the front of our desk.
Oh.
That's what we had when we was doing the transition.
Excellent.
And I just said to this guy, mate, read that. And the guy got halfway through it and just slammed his coffee and walked off. And I was just like, you know, I brought it with manners and I'd never be rude anyway, regardless. But the guy had no manners. And do you want them kind of people in your shop? You know, probably not. You know,
good point.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice to be able to convert. You know, because every person converted is just a token, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But I think you handled it well. I think you handled it really well. You showed him the reasons why.
Yeah, I think the hardest bit when anyone's rude in any way, shape or form is that I have on the actual cold face there, I have my family working, my daughter. She's 19, but I still see her as my little girl.
Yeah, and you've got somebody there giving her a bad time.
And that's, from an emotional point, sometimes it's quite hard to keep near enough a lid on it. So I kind of step back sometimes, but she handles herself well, so I don't need to step in at all, to be honest. But the people we get in the shop, 99.9% of the time are great, fantastic.
So. Following on from that, we've got a few other questions there, but I was asking earlier, and it does tie in with what Nicole has asked. about what actually ended up happening with, say, the gym members and that as well, that were used to having the day transition. Did I ask you this question earlier?
No, you didn't. No, you
okay.
didn't. And it's yet again a good question,
Yeah.
because the gym members, we built a really good rapport with the gym members, and they really stereotype the veganism, and especially the vegans. There wasn't, and I used to have a bit of fun, and I used to do I do a lot of boxing, and I used to take a lot of them doing boxing classes in there, and when we went, we thought we'd lose them all.
Right.
When we went vegan, ironically enough, the gym's closed now, but when we went vegan, we actually kept the diehards there. They'd order like avocado and toast, and they'll probably still eating meat, to be fair.
Right, yes, but not at your place.
But they'd come and they'd have avocado and toast, they'd have a soy flat white, and there was just generally nice people, and we still get a lot of them now on the weekend, but they don't come for the week as much. Right. We have one guy, and I wish Amber was here now, who did transfer over. Yeah, we have a guy. He transitioned. He was near enough on the borderline anyway. He was vegetarian, and he transferred over, and we transferred over. And Amber will probably be able to tell you his name, because I'm really bad.
Can't do his name. But that's good.
Yeah,
that's
fantastic.
Good, Nicole asks, "Are you hiring?" With a little wink.
Nicole, we are. In turn, we will hire. I mean, we're just at the moment now. We're just coping. I think with the holidays coming very shortly, and the hot weather just coming on the horizon, I think we'll need to hire more. The answer to the question is yes, we are. Probably in the next 6 to 8 weeks, I would say. So
if Nicole or somebody else is interested in putting in a resume or something?
Do you know what I'd say is, I'm all about the face value. I love that. I come in and
introduce
obviously bring your CV, introduce yourself, have a chat with myself, with Amber, my wife, and because what I will say is, I think Nicole asked that question, it might have been Sonia, about how selective are you, and the answer to the question is very selective. We are being too meticulous, is because, like I mentioned, I see these people as extension of my family, and anyone who works there will tell you that we take them on if they don't drive. We really look after them. So we want them to feel a part of our family.
That's fantastic.
So if providing you fit in and you're just a very outgoing person and just a nice human being, we of course we want to take people on. We want to have all. I think the girls are trying to get a young, good-looking fella in there, So I keep, so I think my
the girls want to get a young, good-looking fella to work with.
There's a girl who comes to me, Alicia, because you need a real cool hipster barista. So she's given me she's given me a key milestone there to say hire one of them.
Actually, that's a really smart move, because I know of other fully vegan places that have had a young, good-looking male barista.
It makes sense, I suppose.
It makes a lot of sense, because the majority of the major portion of your customers is going to be female.
Yeah, true.
So that is true, isn't
That's
it?
completely true. I mean, 80% of our customers are
that high.
Easily a female. So and I think I'm a bit too old to be that young, cool barista. So I'm going to have to employ someone, because if you see me on that machine, I think my days have gone past now.
Your female customers will definitely appreciate the eye candy. Lindsay says, "What a fantastic place to work." Sakara says, "I also love the fact that I don't get charged extra for almond milk." And Michelle says, in relation to that, "Thank you for not charging extra for non-dairy, much appreciated."
No
so this is, and Michelle also says, "Staff are lovely." What nobody's mentioned is how great the food is.
Give us your feedback.
The food is fantastic. I mean, the first time I went there, I had the nachos plate. Is that still on the menu?
It still is on the menu.
It's been. I couldn't believe how big it was. It was high. It was massive. It was good value. It was warm. It was filling. It was cooked just right. The beans were great. I'm like, this is really good. And then I had the best key lime pie I think I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
Is that still on the menu? Because that is.
Yeah, we haven't got the pie on there. The pie, we had the pies.
Bring it back.
Yeah, the pies was actually we did a joint venture with like a joint venture night with the Flower Life Bakery, Steve O'Brien, and we did like a pie. We tried to, because we're English, obviously, we tried to do a traditional English pie and mash, and that's like a traditional meal where we're from.
Yes.
So we did a pie and mash, and Steve does the best pies, the best vegan pies I've ever had.
Yeah.
So we did that. But in regards to the nachos, we do nachos, but I look back when you first come in that shop, and when everyone else, and they loved our food, but God, our food is so much nicer.
Yeah.
It's gone up in levels, and it really has. And so the nachos we do now, we've got some. It's just a bit fancier, a bit tastier.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, some people had some good valid points, like there was too many chips in there, and in regards to ratio to the beans.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the fact that people come and challenge you and say maybe changes, because if people are constantly saying that, it makes us grow. It makes us grow as people, as a business. So if people have got good, I say constructive criticism.
Yes.
If you can give me constructive criticism, we'll change it.
I love that you're willing to hear it.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the thing. I mean, I think that's because we haven't been in hospitality for forever.
So you don't think you know it all?
Yeah, exactly. We don't. We're far from knowing it all.
Yeah.
So
Michelle says staff are lovely, and she also says the tofu brekkie wrap is wonderful. Whatever those emoticons are, she loves it. And Shane says you're candy to me, Dino.
Oh, Shane. Thank Shane. I knew there'd always be one. He's my wingman. Shane is my wingman. Thank you, Shane. You just won a free coffee, Shane.
He's a classic, isn't he? Eh? Now, okay, Yana asks, are you open for evenings? Now, that's good. We can talk about opening hours at the moment.
Yes, definitely. So, at present, we know we're not open for evenings just because of the winter, and we just wanted to really execute days. We was always going to be, the meat of our business would always be, I shouldn't say the meat of our business,
the tofu of your business.
The tofu of our business would be the days. That's the core of the days, that the Saturdays, Sundays, on the weekends. So what we're going to do moving forward is open a late Sunday arvo, probably in the middle of spring.
Yeah.
So then we're going to have live music at late Sunday arvo. That's going. Then
did you say in the middle of spring?
So we're in the middle of spring.
You mean the middle of summer?
The start of summer. The
start of summer. Okay, that's coming up.
Start of summer. Yeah. I'm all over the place. Tired. So the start of summer, we're going to do late arvos. And then maybe after Christmas, we're going to move into possibly obviously move into a Sunday night and possibly even a Saturday night. But this is at the moment it's quite loose because we're not. And another thing as well is that greenhouse is the night. That's the night thing, and we don't really want to conflict with them. We get on with them too well. But if we are going to do the nights, it's going to be what we do. We're not going to make it into a fancy restaurant. It's going to be live music. And maybe theme nights at that. It could be like maybe a burger night, or it could be a Mexican, Italian.
I like the way you've sort of connected in with Greenhouse there, in the way that they have the nights really in that area, the Miami Burleigh area. They have the nights really wrapped up.
Yeah. And
so and if you can corner the market with the days.
Yeah, exactly. And they do great food as well. And and they're just nice people. And I'm a big believer, if you're a nice person, nice things will happen to you eventually. Eventually.
Sometimes it feels like forever.
Yeah. I'm feeling that at the moment. But I'm going to be positive,
The first 53 years are the worst, but.
My wife bought me The Secret a couple of months ago, and I've been reading it. So I'm trying to take a little quotes out of there to keep it positive when we have rainy days.
I love it. So to clarify, your opening hours now.
So it's 6 till 4 p.m. 6 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And
7 days a week.
Sunday we open till 5 or 4:30.
Okay.
I should know this, and you can criticise me. You're in prime time to do that now, but I think it's on the website, and it's on the social media. And
it's on the Facebook
page
for Serabar.
Yeah, I think it's 4:30
for Serabar, which somebody can probably type in there, because I might have difficulty linking it while we're live. But another good question from Nicole there. But also for people that don't know where Serabar is, because for me Serabar is significant because It's open during the daytime, and it's fully vegan, and it's in Burleigh.
Yes, it
And,
is.
and I mean, that's a first.
Yeah.
That's a first. So
the
that's
thing is with the location of Serabar, at present, it is not the greatest to find.
It's hard to find the first time.
The parking is terrible.
Yeah.
The parking is terrible, but probably another thing I'd like to mention as well would be where we're situated. If you've been to the coffee shop, you'll know there's been a bar called The Local next door. They're really great people. They're a more bar. They sell tapas food, and then we've got us. We was there first. Now all that row initially that was the gym.
Yes.
It went over 4 shops. That row's all going to be. It's all been separated off now into shops, and there's going to be a Japanese restaurant there, I believe. I think a noodle, possibly even maybe a noodle place. And we're going to have undercover dining all the way around to the sliced pizza.
Wow.
That will all be ready before, I've been assured, before the 15th of December. So that's not long away really. So that said, that side will completely be marketed more. It'll be opened up. There's going to be lights. There's going to be neon lights outside, so people will know where it is.
Yes.
And then I think if this tram, I don't know if the plans have actually been.
The tram. Yes.
Yeah, if that opens, apparently the tram stop, the zebra crossing or the pedestrian crossing is directly opposite where our shop will be. Down to the beach, which would be amazing.
That could be a stroke of brilliance.
God.
Wow.
This could be. Yeah, it could go. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might not have to work anymore. You know.
That's why you said good things come to good people. Basically, you said earlier. Well, maybe that's what will happen. Yeah. So, where do you recommend to park? Because I know the parking can be difficult. Is there usually any parking under the building? There
is some parking under the building as well.
Okay.
There's parking under the building. There's 2 layers of parking underneath.
I didn't know
there was 2 layers of parking underneath. And there's a third one that's purely for residents of that place.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got the car park behind the Burleigh Hotel, which is sometimes quite hard to get a spot. If I'm going to be honest with you.
That's the open air car park.
And then what a lot of people do, a bit of a cheat, is to park in the school car park.
In the school car park.
So Burleigh Primary School, and then they walk over the other pedestrian crossing and walk over.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, it's free parking.
Because you're located. What's the name of the building that you're located in the bottom of?
The Ambience.
The Ambience.
Yeah, the Ambience.
So it's the Ambience high rise. Or?
Yeah. So it's underneath the Ambience high rise.
Ambience high rise, which is at the very southern end of the highway in Burleigh as you come down and go around the corner. It's a little bit hard to describe where it is. But if you know where the Gold Coast Hotel is, it's connected to it, so you just sort of walk around the corner from the
you do on the Gold Coast Highway side.
On the Gold Coast Highway side. So, but if you go to the Facebook page for Serabar, there's probably a map on there. I think.
Yeah, there is. I believe people always ask the question, and it is tricky for directions. And we need to come up with something to make it easy.
Yeah.
You might see me on the weekend with a chalkboard, arrows pointing this way.
Standing near the traffic lights opposite the school. Okay. So Nicole says, my last question. She says, how did your daughter turn the whole family super vegan?
Yes, good question. Very good question. If my daughter is very persistent, and she helped my wife, because when Amber moved over here, she'd finished school, so she had like a 6-month gap really before she went to TAFE.
Right.
And she helped look after my youngest daughter, and she was just feeding my youngest daughter and Roxy, my 7-year-old, vegan food, and then that's all they knew. So my youngest daughter was like, she was 1. In fact, she was 4 months when we moved over here. So all she knows is vegan, my youngest.
That's fantastic.
And then and I think she's a great cook. My daughter's a great cook. So the food she was making, I was coming home and I was loving it. I was like, this is beautiful. And I think just the passion and the food, and I think I'm very inquisitive, so I asked her a lot of questions. And I was asking a lot of questions about why not to, and I challenged the documentaries. I was like, well, did you do this? And to be honest, she didn't have all the answers.
Right.
And I'm going to Shane and Simone.
Yeah, from Vegan Frothers.
And Blake.
And
Benny.
Yeah.
The group, they've been so passionate, and Amelia as well has been fantastic. That group of people have been with us from the get-go.
Ah,
And they,
excellent.
especially Simone and Shane, they could answer any question. Simone's, she knows so much about it. I'd challenge Simone and say, well, what about fish? Why don't you eat fish? And she'd be like, the mercury, the bottom feeders. And she'd just be telling me all about it. And because she had the question, she would put the icing on the cake for me. And I was like, right, this makes sense. She's got the tools. So Amber's persistence, Simone's knowledge, and Shane and all the rest of the guys. That's
and their support. Yeah,
and they're great.
Fantastic.
And I think some of these guys, you know, I'd like in the coffee shop. Maybe I'm going away with it, but I'd like some guest speakers there, like James.
Oh yes.
Well, James has been to the coffee shop. He's amazing.
Yes.
And he talks a lot about it. But even Simone's probably she's not as out. She's not up there like James, but Simone's a book of knowledge. She's a wealth of knowledge.
She is, and she's very funny.
Very funny. You know, you need someone like her who's got that funny edge who can convert people. Eh?
She's amazing, and actually that's a good segue into talking about into talking about the Froth Fest.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
That's a good segue. But also, I'll just mention. Lindsay says you guys are funny. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I nearly came back with a line that used to say, my dad used to say, he's come to his senses, he doesn't say it anymore, but he used to say, oh, you're funny to look at.
Yeah, I was going to say the same line.
Yeah.
The same line. I was going to say the same line.
Anyway.
Because Shane called me eye candy, I'm not going to kill it. You know, I'm not going to kill it.
So, okay, so we've been talking about Shane Simpson and Simone Jones from Vegan Frothers. In the background there, my sponsors of the Vegan Hour. And Sunday just gone was the first Froth Fest.
Wow. That's all I need to say is wow. I mean, Shane.
Now you were there.
Yeah, Shane and Simone have done so much to make that happen. And it's not even to make it happen how successful it was. The success on that was amazing. I mean, it was absolutely chockers. It was so vibrant. Everyone, it was just buzzing. You had to be, if you wasn't there, you had to be there. It's hard to put into words how great it was.
It felt like being in the brave new vegan world, didn't it? It was like.
And that's another thing. It's becoming that trend. I mean, I had friends come there who wasn't vegan.
Yes.
They wasn't vegan, and it's becoming that trendy thing now. Now, and that's great because I was mentioning to Harry earlier is that he was worried about possibly will this trend, it is a trend at the moment.
Yes, will it dissipate?
Will it dissipate? And I said it's not skinny jeans, it's not flares. It won't do that. When you know you don't wear skinny jeans and flares and feel great, you know. When you become vegan and you're eating great food and you feel better about yourself, you see changes within your body, you know, and your ethics become better overnight, you know. You can't put words into that.
And I think that's the difference also, because the difference between somebody that's chosen an ethical vegan lifestyle, because they're doing it not for themselves, they're doing it because there's a greater good, there's saving animals, as opposed, so they're likely to stay with that because that's a heartfelt decision, you know, good conscience and good heart decision, as opposed to someone that maybe has just gone vegetarian for health reasons, not even vegan, they've just gone vegetarian for health reasons. That tends to be more trendy. They're the sort of people that tend to just go, oh yeah, and I've known over the years, I've known a few people that were long-term vegetarians. I'm talking well over 10 years, like 10, 16, one was 16 years, one was 12 years. Like, I was vegetarian for 16 years, I eat meat now. So there was never the ethics in there, you know.
I actually was speaking to a vegetarian on Friday, and the guy had been vegetarian. He's actually English, lived in Hong Kong. He's been vegetarian for 25 years, and he's still vegetarian. And I'm so cheeky, and I've got that cheeky, chappy kind of personality where I will challenge people, especially now. I'm like, but if you've gone vegetarian, why just go vegan? I mean, dairy's like, I argue that dairy is on some of the documentaries is as bad as any meat or any fish you would eat. So so why you may as well go all the way and have the ethics behind it as well, the ethical and not like if you are going to go for health, and if that's what your route you're going to go down there, great. but go vegan, because you're getting the full capacity of it rather than just going vegetarian when you're actually thinking, okay, you're not eating meat, but you're drinking milk, you're having cheese, you're eating eggs, and you're like, well,
still contributing massively to animal cruelty.
Yeah, massively to that. And even if that's not on their radar, because we've got to be realistic. Some people it's not, which is a shame. But if it is just a pure health route, they've got to realise that this dairy and that's not good. It's not good for them, and it's not. They think it's healthy, and it's really not. Yeah,
and there's plenty of evidence of that. A huge amount of evidence of that. Sakara said, what was he? I'm going to say, what was his response? When you spoke to him, did he the vegetarian for 25?
I had Benny was talking Benny a minute ago. So Benny was with me, and Benny laughed, and he said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, because dairy's terrible, mate." I actually said it, and I wrote down the documentary, What the Health.
Good.
And I sent him a text message actually, and he said, "You've got to see this." I said, because I would argue the fact that I wouldn't like to put what's worse and what's not. I said it's definitely on par. Dairy is on par, if not worse, than meat and fish. Yeah. And I said, so if you are going to do that decision, go all the way. I said, there's that many substitutes now where you don't need it. Like cheese, you get dairy-free cheese, it's amazing.
It's just the supermarkets.
We've got aisles. We've got aisles
of we've got the vegan aisle in Tweed Heads.
We have got the vegan aisle,
but we've got aisles of alternatives now. And also, I mean, I just think when you talk about dairy, straight away, I think it's the 700,000 male calves a year that are sent from the dairy industry in Australia to the meat industry for veal. And straight away, I just think, well, the dairy industry the veal exists because of the dairy industry. That's one of the things they've said. And then when you look at the exploitation of what they do, I mean, it's just on any area, in any way of looking at it, dairy is so cruel. And, so that's ditch the dairy is something I push pretty strongly on my Facebook page, so that people that maybe think, a lot of people maybe realise that there's something wrong about eating meat, but haven't made the connection. They think, oh no, it's only milk, it's fine. Investigate it, and you find out, no, it's not fine. It's anyway.
And you've got that many substitutes. Why would you do it? If you've got, I can name so many places to go on the coast. We're talking on the coast. We're talking like a 40-kilometre radius. Where I could give you that many great vegan, vegetarian places. In fact, vegan, or just sell vegan food.
Yep.
You wouldn't need to you wouldn't need to do that. You wouldn't need to have milk. I mean, like
that's right.
The soy milk now. I mean, even we actually just getting bonsai. We haven't used bonsai. We're using the milk lab.
Yeah.
And the bonsai, which we're going down there, it's like near enough. If you want that, if you're addicted to cow's milk, it's near enough the stimulation.
It's got that creaminess.
Yeah, it's very creamy. There's not much between it really, unless you're a real connoisseur of milk.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to do a blind taste test or something.
A lot of people. I mean, my father-in-law is Claire's dad. When we initially opened Serabar, he came over to help him and my mother-in-law to help with the children. And he's really old school, he's nearly 60s, I'm a meat eater, I'm a man kind of thing, he's showing me how masculine he is. And by the end of it, he was eating everything vegan. I mean, Claire was just making them smoothie bowls, Steve's Flower Life pies. We stitched him so bad with that. He was, I've got you a pie, got your sausage roll, he's eating, he's going, this is more like it. This is more like it. I'm like,
there's a couple of comments I want to get to before they disappear, but I also want to come back to that because I've got a good little thing about that. But Sakara says, I felt like I belonged to a huge family on Sunday at the Froth Fest, which is, yes, exactly. It felt like a huge vegan family, Danny says the change is not only your body, but your head and your heart. Beautifully said, Danny. Fantastic. Really beautifully said. Nicole says, I so don't get that. And that's talking about the dairy, not making the connection. And Lindsay says, so many great vegan cheeses now. I just want to say, you're saying to use your words, you're saying you stitched up your dad with the Flower of Life pies, right?
Yeah.
And a similar thing happened over a year ago now, beginning of last year, when my mum pulled the same routine on my dad, and because they'd been meat eaters up until then, and she actually started. It was Feed the Earthlings pizzas. She started giving him Feed the Earthlings pizzas, the pepperoni the mock pepperoni pizza, and didn't tell him.
Do you know, you
Didn't tell him, and he couldn't, and he was going, "This is the best pepperoni pizza I've had," and he was still he thought he was a meat eater, right? So then she changed the shepherd's pie into a vegetarian shepherd's pie. She still had cheese in it.
Yeah.
Or I think she has cheese in it, but and started feeding him that and didn't tell him. And she did this for months without my dad knowing that he had just gone vegetarian.
No way, really?
And then she didn't even tell me. 3 months later, she says, "By the way, we've been vegetarian for 3 months." I nearly fell over. I'm like, yeah, what?
That's really funny because
I haven't, just for the record, I have not been able to get them to go fully vegan yet. Despite my best efforts, I put little words in Mum's ear, but
yeah. So I'm intending to do that. So this is a bit of a secret. I know my friends won't be, probably watching this because a lot of them are meat eaters.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
But Christmas party, we've got a section of the business, the company I work for, and we've got a section in the Gold Coast, and I'm going to get their Christmas party between where my shop is for the food and next door for the beers, which is the local, which is a great little bar. And I'm going to put a spread on for them at the Christmas time, and they're not going to know it's even vegan because a lot of the people, I'm going to do the cheese boards, everything pure vegan. They won't even know, and I'm just going to see the reaction. I won't even tell them until after they're finished, and see the reaction.
Excellent.
And then I might even video that, like a secret video.
Do it.
Like a secret camera video.
Well, they did that at the radios. Feed the Earthlings took burgers into CFM, or one of the radio stations in Southport, and they filmed the crew eating them without them knowing that they were vegan burgers.
Really?
And the guy was actually critiquing it, going, "Oh yeah, wow, this this meat is really good, and this cheese and all the rest." And he gets part way through, and they say, "That burger you're eating is vegan," and he's like,
"No way." I still don't know how these guys do it. I mean, we just, for the record, for the new menu, there was a few questions around. We had salmon on our menu.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, good question.
Yes.
It's not salmon. It's a fake salmon. It's carrot. It's carrot, actually.
How brilliant is this? A fake salmon made from carrot.
From carrot. Yeah.
From carrot.
And we have sweet corn fritters with a smoked fake salmon and avocado, and it is amazing, and it's great. I think Amber's made that from scratch, but I don't know how these. You're talking about feeding the Earthlings, great, by the way. That's our cheat meal. We go and we want to. Do you know what we want? A pizza.
Yeah.
We go there and have it. But even Tian Ran.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm not going to ask for the recipes, but I'm like, how do they do this? It's just so beautiful.
Yes.
It's amazing.
And it's interesting. Your salmon is so convincing. Your mock salmon is so convincing. A friend of mine messaged me in a panic, no names, I'm not saying anything, messaged me in a panic only, 2 days ago or something, because she was convinced that Serabar now had they'd fallen off the wagon and now had real salmon, and she messaged me in a panic, and she's like, "What's going on here?" And I said, I can assure you it's not.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was made from until I was speaking to you tonight, but it's from carrot, so that's just
great. It's beautiful as well. You have to come and try that. If that's something like, for me personally, my obstacle was giving up that, I mentioned I give up the fish. It was, and I did it and I never went back. But the taste, I think it's something like a muscle memory way. I missed that. Salmon was one of them. So when we had that today, I had it for the first time last week, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And it went so well with the sweet corn fritters.
So the new menu came out last week?
Yes, it did last week.
Okay.
It came out last Saturday.
And what are some of the highlights on there?
Well, to be honest, we've had some really good reviews, but not the volume as much as we anticipated. But that's probably due to the fact that the Froth Fest was on there, the Vegan Froth Fest was on there, and obviously a lot of people was saving up and channeling to go there on the Sunday, which was amazing. So we'll probably get more reviews in the next couple of weeks. But it's the new menu is. And I'm not just saying this to turn into a salesman. It's fantastic.
Well, you should definitely sell your products.
You'll find out. They'll find out for themselves when they get there. But it's really healthy as well. Because I mean, like we talk about some of the vegan foods. It's fatty food. It's great. But our niche, what we're really trying to go down the route is healthy food. So it's not just
I like it.
vegan, it's vegan healthy. Like, the only unhealthy thing we really do would be fried chips.
Okay.
And that's something that we don't really want to lose, because sometimes it's a good backfall. If you don't want anything on the menu, you can get chips. But outside of the chips,
like your chips.
Yeah, the chips are good, but outside that, it's really healthy.
Yeah.
So like, if I want to go somewhere for a pizza or a burger and it's not so healthy, I'll go to a different place. But ours is pure health, you know.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. And Ivan says hello from Melbourne. Good on you for watching, Ivan.
Thanks, Ivan.
So we're getting towards the end of our time here. So we're giving away a $30 voucher to Serabar. So you can go along, check out their new menu, and you go along in any case, even if you don't win, and check out their new menu. And and Ivan makes a comment saying, I find some vegan cheeses and butters are unhealthy. Yes, that's true, Ivan, definitely in moderation with something like that. And Danny says, great session, guys. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun tonight. It's
been great.
It has been really good. I actually want to get you back on the show again at some stage. But so have you got some thoughts on?
I have. It was neck and neck.
There were some good questions.
Good questions. It was neck and neck between Nicole and Sonia. And it was really hard. I'm gonna lean towards them.
Drum roll.
I'm gonna go for Sonia. Some couple of great questions there. It was neck and neck, but I'm gonna lean towards Sonia. And she called me Divine Dean. And I'm taking that compliment.
I think it had 3 words. I think it was Divine Dean and something. I can't remember.
Hipster Harry.
Yes, but yours was Divine Dean something. It was the 3rd word. Mine was Harry Hipster. Yeah. So the winner of congratulations, Sonia, for winning the $30 voucher to Serabar, and for her should she just go in and
so if you can possibly, if you're not on Serabar already, maybe just give us a personal message to say hi, I won the tickets, so we know who you are.
Send it to the Serabar. Yes. Okay. There you go. So Sonia, I hope she's still watching. If she's not, I'll message her and let her know. But just contact Serabar's Facebook page, and congratulations. That's very good. And God, I wish you were open now. I want to go down there.
I fancy the pizza now. You talked about the PPU things. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I just ran through my head what time they're open till, but they're only open all night. I
know, we missed it.
Damn it. So I've had an absolute pleasure having you on the show. It's been really, really
thanks for the questions.
I think we could have talked about more, and and there's still comments coming through there. Nicole loves the eggs Benny, and the Avo Benny which is really good too. So I'm going to start winding this up. I'm sorry, guys, that it was in 2 halves tonight. Don't know what happened, but and Benny just came on. Yay, boys! Benny came on the last moment. But the YouTube version of tonight's Vegan Hour will be, of course, just all joined together as one section. And the comments are coming in. Damn, I wish I came in earlier. Ivan says, Ivan, you can rewatch this. There's a part 1 and a part 2 on my timeline. You can rewatch it at any time, and the YouTube version will be up in a couple of days. And Nicole wants you guys to open for dinner. So
thank you, Nicole. It will come soon.
So thank you for all your wonderful questions, guys. Tonight has been all about vegan food. Dean has been fantastic talking about Serabar. Next week is going to be about vegan bodybuilding. So for episode 36 next week on October the 17th is Jesse and Amy Perry, and we're going to be talking. I'm going to be talking to them about vegan bodybuilding. They're going into a competition really soon, so you'll get to meet them. You'll get to find out a lot about that side of being vegan. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. This has been the Vegan Hour, brought to you by Vegan Frothers. I've even come up with a slogan for Vegan Frothers. It's start a compassionate conversation.
I like it.
So thanks, guys, and remember to live vegan and save lives. And I will see you guys next week. Have a great. You see how Dean's even going to.
I'm inside. I'm going to keep inside.
Have a great week, guys. Good night.